You were designed for more, called to a path less traveled. We're not just talking about running miles, we're talking about running a race against the ordinary. This podcast is for the uncommon runners, the ones who hear a different drumbeat. Now, let's explore what it means to be set apart, to run a unique course, and to find purpose in our race we call life. This is the Uncommon Runner Podcast. Hey friends, thank you for joining me today on the Uncommon Runner Podcast. I am your host, Anthony Gilbert, aka the Scarecrow Runner. Hope this finds you doing well today or whenever you're listening to it. We are quickly approaching the end of the calendar year. It is hard to believe we are almost in the middle of November now. We have December knocking on the door, but I'm not quite ready to flip the calendar over to 2025 just yet. We still have some unfinished business. We still have some work to get done before the end of the year. How many can say amen to that? You may have some goals that you want to finish and to accomplish before 2025. Well, friends, we have about 6 weeks. We have time. And as I always say, don't quit until you get it done, right? I don't always say that, but, get your work done, right? Go out there and get the work done. Grind it out, get it done. And then when you have it done and when you're good, tap out if you need to. And if it's a little bit before the end of the year, great. If it's up until the last day of the year, December 31st, and you are within range of accomplishing your goal, get her done. And even if you don't get that goal, that's okay. You roll it over to 2025 as your first priority, your first goal for the new year, and you go out and you try to achieve it then. Goals sometimes get pushed out, guys. We get thrown curveballs all the time, and we face obstacles that we weren't expecting. We may have a family member that gets a bad report, right? And they're dealing with an illness or sickness that we weren't expecting. Or we might have a death of a loved one. Or we may have encountered a unexpected job loss or an injury. There's different things that are out there that throw curveballs at us all the time, and we just have to be prepared and to adapt. As my sister and I were talking this last week, guys, life happens. And as we mature and as we grow into adulthood, as we get older and more mature, hopefully we're getting more mature as we're getting older, but as we age and we have responsibilities, we have things around us, our jobs, our families, and other things, we can't always go about training for races and events like we would as an 18-year-old in college or a high schooler. Life happens, right? We get busy and things happen. It's called adulting. And sometimes we don't like to adult. That's okay because, sometimes adulting requires hard decisions. It sometimes requires doing things we don't necessarily want to do. But that's part of it. That's part of the responsibility of being an adult, is doing things that aren't always easy, but we do it because that's what's required of us. Children do children things, childlike things, childish things. Teenagers, much about the same. Young adults oftentimes run, I can say it because I've been there. You run like you are unstoppable, invincible. But as we age, we experience new things and we're faced with new challenges in front of us that we've never experienced before because we are in a new season. We're in a new age group, if it's based off of racing, or as you age, you're faced with new challenges with your body, right? You might not be able to get those extra pounds off. You may have to embrace the new you. And guys, that's hard sometimes. Honestly, that's hard a lot of times. One of the things that I've learned to do recently is to embrace the season that I'm in, embrace who I am, where I'm at right now. I am sitting here trying often to compete with my 19-year-old self in college, running similar distances, etc. But let's be real, let's be honest. I'm not going to go out there and run 5-minute miles like I did in high school and college.
My body just doesn't have it in it anymore. I don't think I will be able to run consistent 5-minute mile splits to where I could run a 17-minute 5K. I don't see that happening unless by the grace of God, something miraculous happens in my body to where I don't know, the star, as they would say, the stars and the planets align just right and the wind blows a certain way. And on that day, I just go out and I run like I've never ran before. And that may be the last time I actually get to run because it may completely break me. But, that's how it is as they say, comparison is the thief of joy. If we're always comparing ourselves to where we were, who we were, what we were doing, you're going to miss where you are, who you are, where you're going, and what you're going to be doing. I don't want to compare myself to the past. That was an experience for me to enjoy at that age. And now, it's time for me to enjoy where I'm at and where I'm going now. And it's okay to say, you know what, I'm not as fast as I used to be, but I can still turn it up from time to time, right? I have those memories, but we're not supposed to live in the past. We're supposed to move forward. And we're supposed to embrace the moment that we're in. We're supposed to live in the season that we are facing now. Why live in the past? The past is full of regrets. The past is full of bad choices. The past is full of other things too, good and bad. I'm not saying the past is full of bad completely, but we've all made mistakes. We've all been there. Do we really want to continue to look in the past behind us and allow it to trip us when we turn around to go back forward? I don't want to be looking in the past. That would be like Lot's wife in the Bible. When Lot and his wife were told to not look back. And what happened? Lot's wife turned and looked behind her, and she was turned into a pillar of salt. I don't want to be like Lot's wife, looking behind. I want to be looking forward. I want to see what's coming down the pike towards me, the opportunities that I have in front of me, the new seasons, the new obstacles, the new challenges. Friends, I'm in uncharted territory, right? At 49 years old, I've never been here before, and I'm excited to see what happens for me next. It may not be anything that I am prepared for, most likely. But you know what? Enjoy it while you can, because we are not promised tomorrow. We live one day at a time. And so I'm going to enjoy and embrace the season that I'm in now, and I'm not going to worry about yesterday. Yesterday, we'll worry about yesterday, and tomorrow we take care of today, right? We don't worry about tomorrow. We don't worry about yesterday. We worry about what's going on right now, and we don't even need to worry. Let yesterday take care of yesterday, as it says in the scriptures. Just like it says in Matthew 6:34, therefore do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. So there's the thing, guys. Don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about yesterday. Focus on the here and now. So I had something happen to me this last week that kind of struck a nerve. Have you guys ever had anything strike a nerve? I'm sure you have. Especially when it has to do with something that I enjoy doing and something that I'm passionate about. What could that be? Running. I posted something on YouTube last week, and I generally will post things on YouTube. I'll post things on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and all the social media platforms. And I will share my running journey, the experiences that I'm having as a runner. And I posted something on YouTube where it didn't even really include anything about running other than my status. I took a couple of short little 5-second videos and I pieced it together and I used that as my status for the day, right? It was a video of a train. It was a video of the raging creek that we had from all the rain. And I'm trying to remember what the other one was. But anyways, it was just things that I captured while I was out for my run. Oh, I remember. it was just a short little clip of raindrops falling on a puddle. Okay, so 3 different things that I experienced. Those were things that I saw while I was out getting my run, and those were things that I experienced. And as I've grown older, I've learned to capture more because I want to enjoy, like I said, enjoy the moment that I'm in. If we go out and we just get our miles in, right? We check the box and we go home and we don't embrace the blessing and the gift that we've been given, you're missing out. So many times I used to just go and I'd run and I didn't even think about anything around me. I didn't focus on the environment that I was in. I didn't focus on what I was about to endure. I just went and I checked the box and I was done. And in races and events and things that I've been a part of in the last several years, friends, I can tell you this, I actually stop and smell the roses, right? Stop and smell the coffee, because those are experiences that God has blessed us with. We have an opportunity before us. I am not likely to go and nail down a bunch of PRs anymore. I've set the PRs. Now I'm in a season of I want to enjoy the moment that I'm in, enjoy the season that I'm in. So if I'm in a race, yes, I'm going to run hard and I'm going to try to do my best. But I'm also, I can guarantee you, going to go and enjoy myself while I'm in an area where I may have never ran before, right? And so I have always got the eye to capture things that are around me that are tied to nature, right? I might see some kind of wildlife that I've never seen before, or I might see an awesome looking tree or flower or a waterfall or something in nature that I enjoy. I love the creation and I love capturing things along the way. When I'm running, I love capturing things that are along the run, right? It might be something on the side of the road that I see that you may not normally see. That's the beauty of running, guys, that I really love, is going and capturing those things along the way. Because if we're in the car, we don't always see it. But when we get on foot or on bike and you get into areas where you don't normally have access to, man, the adventure awaits, right? And that's why I love trail running so much, is because you can go and find amazing things along the trail. You can find that adventure right out in front of you. Every turn, every rock, every twig, every root, there's adventure right there, because you might end up hitting one of those roots and go sprawling face forward into the mud, off the trail, and you might find something. You never know. Hopefully you find yourself conscious and not waking up in a hospital somewhere. But anyways, I try to capture the beauty that is around me during my runs. How many of y'all do that? Anybody? Can you relate? I see some of y'all nodding your heads in agreement. Some of y'all do it. Some of you are probably too prideful. I don't want to do that. That's okay. Be honest. This is a no judgment, judgment-free zone. You can tell me how you feel. Do you like to take pictures when you're running? Do you like to capture things along the way? Do you stop and look around you and just take in the sights and not even take a picture, but just stop for a moment? Who cares about your split? Who cares about the time on your watch? You stop, you check out the sunrise, you check out the birds that are flying across in a V formation across the sky with the blues and the purples and the grays and the pinks and the oranges, and you just embrace the moment that you're in. Do you do that? Or you just truck along and you don't even worry about what's around you? I know there's some of y'all out there, and that's okay. Like I said, judgment-free zone. But I really hope that you guys will stop and, as they would say, smell the roses. Take in the beauty of the creation around you, because we are not promised tomorrow. So why not enjoy today? Don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about yesterday. Let's focus on today. So I captured this video, 15-second video, of the train, of the raging creek, and the rain dropping on the puddle. And then I posted how I had gone out and ran a 10K and enjoyed my 10K. I pushed myself, and it was a great run. I had a follower who made the comment, and I'm just going to paraphrase it. I'm not going to read it word for word. Basically saying, you can't tell me that you actually ran and took those videos. You probably spent the whole time or half the time walking. And to something to that degree. Arrogant and rude and crude, and just, what's the point of making a comment like that? Somebody's been out of shape. Somebody peed in their Cheerios this morning, and they're not taking it very well. Here's the thing, guys. Even if you stop for a 15-second, 30-second, or 1 minute or 5-minute walk in the middle of your run, doesn't mean you didn't run any less. Doesn't take away the fact that you're still a runner. I could walk a half mile or a mile in a run of choice, and guess what? I'm still a runner. Walking does not disqualify you, and walking does not take away the fact that I am a runner. And it really irked me at first, because I was like, how rude, how dare they, make a statement like that? They don't know me. And besides, it was like, you don't know me, first of all. And second of all, who are you? Who are you to say that I can't take pictures and videos while I run? For the record, and not that I'm sitting here trying to justify it, but for the record, friends, I can capture quite a bit of footage when I'm running fast. It's not hard. It takes a little bit of talent at first, some skill to hold your phone or your GoPro. But I'm pretty sure a lot of us have taken video footage or pictures while we're running. And you just develop a talent and the skill set to be able to take them without, a lot of blurry pictures and video. Nothing crazier than a video where the camera is bouncing all over the place because you're not holding it steady. Yeah, that part comes with some challenges. But here's the thing. I let it get to me at first, but then I just responded, I am still a runner, and I can go out and I can capture stuff while I'm running. And for what it's worth, I ran a fast 10K. I didn't say it in that post, but then I followed that post up with another post of my post from Strava. And there's a saying out there, if it's not on Strava, it didn't happen. Well, I come from the time, when we didn't have social media, right? When dinosaurs roamed the earth and I was still running in high school and college, we didn't have smartwatches. We didn't have, Strava and the cool technology we have today where we could upload our runs onto a platform and share it with the world. We didn't have that. We had paper and pen and our minds and, training log on paper, or maybe an Excel spreadsheet if you were a little bit more advanced. But here's the thing. We didn't have that technology. So a lot of the runs that I've done in the past that were the best I've ever done, I don't have any record of it. I know what I did, and I have God as my witness, and that's all that matters. I went out and I did it. Now, I have pictures people took of me during some events, and that captured the moment. But now I have pictures and things that I capture along the way when I'm doing it. And so I posted my Strava workout showing what I did for my 6-mile run. Or I'm sorry, not my 6-mile run. Yes, 6 miles, but 6.2 miles. So technically a 10K. And I had a friend of mine that I've had on the podcast before make a comment and said, that's pretty sad that, the running community should be supportive and embrace one another. Absolutely. Completely 100% agree with that. But there are some that are out there that are either A, jealous, or B, they have some kind of vendetta against runners and they don't like runners. There's just people out there that are just being rude and crude and disrespectful, and they don't care. But the majority of the running community that I know is supportive, regardless of your size, your shape, your color, your gait, what you look like when you run, the color of the shoes that you wear, the brand of the shoes that you wear. It doesn't matter. The point is everybody's out there, and we are all in an adventure. We are all out doing something that we ourselves enjoy doing. We're out there to push ourselves, to make ourselves better, to embrace who we are, and not worry about the judgment. That's the first time I've seen on a social media platform where someone judged me because of what I chose to do during my run. There's been other forms of it for other things, but that one was the most recent, most obvious attack towards me that I took personally. But I chose not to respond harshly. I chose to just refrain from taking a harsh stance on it. And I just was like, I'll show you, buddy. That's where I just followed it up with actions speak louder than words. And I just posted my time, right? And then my friend who backed me up was like, anybody that can run a 10K in a 1 hour time span, that's pretty impressive. So I ran 6.2 miles in 1 hour flat, and I still had time to take video and pictures. Now, there might be somebody say, well, you could have run a lot faster had you not been messing around with taking pictures and videos. Yeah, I probably could have, but that wasn't the point, guys. I was running at the tempo that I needed to run for that day. I was running the mile that I was in. I was doing something that I wanted to do and that I had full control over. I didn't have to answer to somebody. It wasn't something that said, hey, you have to run an 8-minute pace today. Nope. My training plan was go out and run a tempo run and run 6 miles. And so I did. I went out and ran 6 miles at the pace that I wanted to run. It wasn't a tempo run. That was just an example. I didn't really have anything on my training plan for the day. I went out and I ran the distance that I wanted to run and captured what I wanted to capture. So there's the thing. I was doing something that I enjoyed doing, which was running, but I also had something else that I was enjoying doing, and that was capturing the moment that I was in. The raging creek, the rain that was falling on me. And then, of course, the train. I grew up with trains in Southwest Kansas and Central Kansas. Trains is a part of my life. My grandfather and my dad, we've got a special bond with trains. And so when a train comes blaring its horn and it's close to the area where I run, I stopped and took a quick little video because it makes me have that moment where I'm happy. You guys have those happy moments where it takes you back? Yes, that's what happened to me. When I heard the train whistle and I was right by the tracks, I smiled because it made me think of my grandpa. Rest his soul. I miss him. 7 years gone. And it makes me think of my dad. And I love my dad. And we have a special bond. And that took me back to a special time and place. And yes, that is in the past. But it's a memory that I take with me every single day of my life. And so it's a now and a future. And that's the beautiful thing about it. So yes, I captured things along my run. And yes, I did stuff that some people might not consider true running. But here's the thing. I was out doing something I enjoyed doing, and that's all that mattered because I was doing what I enjoyed doing. And that's what I wanted to encourage you guys with is get out and do it. Who cares what other people say? And that's what I wanted to take. That's what the takeaway I want to have from this. People are going to say things to us. People are going to do things to us. People are going to have attitudes towards us. But don't let that detour you. Don't let that dictate who you are, what you're doing, and where you're going. Okay? Don't let the haters derail you. There are going to be haters. Haters are going to hate. There are people that are always going to be out there against you. And you know what? That's where we get tough skin. And when the tough gets tough, the tough get going. Go out there and prove those people wrong. You know what? There are people out there that they can't help the weight that they have on their bodies. And they're trying to do something about it. They don't look like the, quote, runner should look. And it really discourages me that people are so hateful that they are so judgmental about somebody, the way they look or the way they run. And here's the thing, man, I am all for, yes, I've had moments in my life where I'm like, man, that person sure could use some extra work. Used to be. That's how I used to be. I was very critical as well. I was one of those critical runners. I was young, I was stupid, I was naive, I was prideful. But as I've aged and I've learned, you embrace those that are around you in the community. And we include. It's all about inclusion, right? Doesn't matter what you look like. Doesn't matter how tall, how short, how big, how small. Doesn't matter. If you're out there, we celebrate you. We applaud you. We support you. We're out there as a family, as a community. And that's what it's all about, friends. Don't let the naysayers and don't let the haters hate on you. Ignore those things, because guess what? Those people are angry, those people are bitter, and those people are always going to say something to try to tear you down. Don't let it tear you down. Use that as your fuel. Use that as your motivation to prove those suckers wrong. You know what? Who cares what you look like when you run? I don't have the most grace when I run. I look quite humorous, I'm sure. I've seen myself many times when I'm running and I just shake my head inside. I'm like, I cannot believe I look like that when I run. But you know what? Running brings me joy. Running brings me peace. Running is my therapy. That is me time. That is my time to get away and to treat myself. That is my time to make myself better. So I tip my hat off to those of you that face adversity, that face those people that are haters. And there's so much of it out there, guys, that I read about on social media, especially on Instagram. I follow a lot of different athletes, and I've seen a lot of hate, comments that are just ugly. Why do we have to be like that? You know, it's sad. Why can't we just be uplifting and inspiring and loving? As they used to tell me when I was younger, my mom would tell me this. If you don't have, and my grandmother too, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. Keep your mouth shut. You know what? Move on. And as they say nowadays, you know what? If you don't have anything nice to say, keep scrolling. Don't comment. Just don't put anything out there at all. And I have done it for myself before too, on making comments on people's posts on something I don't agree with or I don't like. I'll write something out, so I get it out of my system, and then I delete it, and I never post a comment or a reply. So I get it out of my system personally. I get it out, and I just delete it. But the bigger step to take is just keep scrolling. If you don't want to see it, if you don't want to read it, if you don't want to be a part of it, just keep scrolling. Just move on. That's my encouragement for people that are hateful. Just keep scrolling. Nobody wants to hear your crap. Nobody wants to hear you being judgmental and hateful. Just keep scrolling. And for those of you that are out there that are facing challenges with people that are posting hateful things on your social media, saying things to you or your family or the things that you're taking part of, you know what? Just ignore them. Ignore them. Embrace the moment that you're in. Embrace what you're doing, because that's what matters most, friend. If you're out there doing something that you love to do, keep doing it. Don't let the naysayers and don't let the haters pull you down. Okay? So, for me, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to post even more stuff, more videos, more pictures of things that are not even running related, because that's who I am. I love photography, I love capturing nature, and I love to run. And I'm going to continue to share those things because that's who I am. And I'm not changing for anybody, regardless of their thoughts. And if they don't like it, well, they can keep scrolling, or they can remove me as a follower, or they can quit following me, right? And if I know who it is, and if it's continued, I will block them or I will remove them. But friends, I just want to encourage you all. Keep doing what you love to do. Keep doing what you're called to do, and keep just showing up. That's the thing. If it makes you feel better, do it. If it makes you feel good, do it. And if it's something that brings you joy, absolutely go out there and do it. God blessed you with a gift. Embrace it. and go out there and make a difference. Don't let the negative Nancys pull you down. Just turn your head, turn your feet, and go the other direction. Keep smiling and keep running down the path of life. And that's, my friends, is the important thing to do, is think before we speak, right? And just look both ways and cross. Too much life is ahead of us to allow things to derail us. Live life to the fullest and enjoy every moment along the way. Friends, I appreciate y'all listening to me today ramble and share a little bit of about me and what I've gone through recently. And I hope it will encourage you, and I hope it will inspire you guys to do the same thing. Just keep doing you, and don't worry about anybody else. The rest will fall into place.